Hey Mom, can I have a quarter? Hey, Fragorn here with a second build for Path of Exile 2 Abyssal League. Um, Pretty cool build, basic stuff. Just playing a Blood Mage. I originally started my Lich minion character, and instead of converting that character to a Blood Mage to try out some different stuff, I just made a new one. Also wanted to see how fast I could whip up a new build with some leveling twinks in the current league, and it was much better. You make your second character way faster than your first because of having some good gear to get you through it. So what have I done? It's just a blood mage that uses the physical skills for physical spells. Not very complicated build at all right now. I do have plans to make some big changes later, which I'll go over. But for now, I've just made an incredibly cheap character that's unbelievably effective um, with using the physical skills for a blood mage. So let's take a look here. Here's my character. I'm currently level 87. Or no, currently level 70. Looking at that. Currently level 76. Do have all my ascendancies. I just bought the four points after doing one lab by myself. I think somebody charged me a divine to carry me through the trial master when I was like level 35. So very smart. I had extra divines laying around, and that was a really good use of them. Then I just leveled with the four ascendancies, made it much better. So Blood Mage doesn't stink like it's used to. You could get your ascendancies the slow way by yourself just fine. The Sanguimancy node is not blocked. It doesn't block you from getting other good nodes, so you're not like getting worse the time you finish your first ascendancy. Um, so anyway, we'll look at the ascendancy quick right now. So what I'm doing is you get the Sanguimancy for free, which gives you the life remnants. This is the basis of all blood mages. They all have this. I took 6 defensive nodes and 1 offensive node for now. So I went out here for more life. The Grasping Wounds gives you life prevented is regenerated over or degenerated over 4 seconds instead. So you take a 100-point hit. You take 75 of it as flat damage. 25% of it's gone, and then that 25 comes in slowly later. But you're picking up the life remnants, so that just basically gets gobbled up. So it's just like pretty much 25% damage reduction from hits. I do take Crimson Power for a big chunk of extra life from the flat energy shield on my body armor. I leech spell damage, which is really cool. It's the only way to leech spell damage in the game as far as I know of. And then I have this awesome bonus. So when I hit an enemy while my life flask is at full charges, 40% of its charges are consumed and give me a 3-second buff that gives me 1% of damage as extra physical for each charge consumed. So I have a big life flask with 118 charges, so 40% of that's almost 50% increased damage for 3 seconds whenever I go. And this gets topped off because you gain 1 life flash charge per 4% of life spent. And with life remnants and Sanguimancy, you get a base life cost equal to the base mana cost. So you spend life like crazy. You can see it going down over there. So it's just recharging my flask constantly. That buff is basically always on. Yeah. Let's take a look at my skills, and then we'll do passive tree and items after that. So what am I doing? All bone, all blood, or excuse me, all bone, all physical spells. So I have a bone blast in my wand linked with faster casting, the cooldown, but a guaranteed crit. Spell echo, which kind of helps with the cooldown, so I can cast this twice when I cast it. And then halved. So I can only cast this every 8 seconds, but I just work it into a rotation like that, and it's pretty much a guaranteed critical hit when that's up. So it's nice. Life remnants I have linked with chance to create an additional remnant. You see that I get 2 of them a lot when I do a map. That's very nice, and you can pick them up from further away, and they just have a little more effect with potency. 20% increased effect. You can also add some other effects to this, but these are the 2 that I like the best, and they don't cost me any extra spirit. You can see I'm at 0 spirit right now with everything reserved. Speaking of spirit, I do have cast on critical. It reserves 100% of my spirit for one of my weapon sets, my weapon set 2, which is my clearing set. So cast on crit, which I'm critting a ton, builds up a lot, causes a detonate dead. Why I'm using this is because it's a physical spell, and you can see all my stuff is in physical, so I have plus 8 levels from global modifiers, so increased level of all physical spells, etc. Really buffs this up. Do a nice chunk of damage. I do 11.3% of the corpse's maximum life as physical damage, which is what I'm scaling. Don't care about the fire. The meta, cast on crit, gets more energy from this one. Bigger area of effect of my explosion from magnified area. And then more max physical hits. I'm only really scaling the explosion of the physical. I don't care about the fire damage. My other weapon set, let's pop to that quick. Now Time of Need is active. This gives me a little bit of life regen, removes ailments and curses. I have this occurring more frequently by reducing its duration, so it has a slow duration of 10 seconds. I reduce that. And then I have this giving me vitality, so I'm just regenerating a little life while this is active. I think you can see my regen is 326 right now while this is active. It goes way down to like 100 and something when it's not. So that's very nice. I have Arctic Armor on there because I had 30 spirit. Just level of cold spells and then a little more damage while I'm at max mana. It's not very useful, but I had the spirit, so I threw it on there. Vulnerability is my curse. This is fantastic. It lowers right now with my level 24 because it's buffed up from global modifiers. Lowers armor by 24,000 for 7 seconds. Linked with delay, so it goes off fast when I cast it. Without that, way slower. Just a nice convenience. Get it way cheaper because this is an expensive skill. Costs 117 mana, 300 life. And then I just have its magnitude increased to make it more effective. I really only use this on bosses. There's an interesting interaction between this and fully broken armor. As far as I can tell, you can have this curse on, reducing armor by a further 24,000 and have fully broken armor. I could be wrong about that, but that's the way it's looking in combat. So very cool. 2 skills for attacking. As you can see, I don't have many things on my button bar. I got Bone Blast from the wand, I got Bone Storm for single target, and I got Bone Cage for clearing. Not much to do in this build. You press a button and walk around. Very simple, very fun. Bone Cage is my clear. I have this just does physical damage and pins. Looks like this. So I have it linked with big crit for enemies that are in full life, and you can see my base crit 64, but I have 100% more against full life, so it's a 100% chance to crit on full life enemies, which for clearing, that's what I'm hitting. Very good. The spell Cascade is what's causing 3 of them. You can see the first one in the middle and then 2 cascades around it. Astral Projection is what's letting me cast it at targeted areas rather than just around me. Without that, the skill just goes right by me, no matter where my mouse is. So this is really cool for moving the clear around. And then I just have Heft for more physical damage. Definitely going to 6-link this when I get more jeweler sockets. Single target, Bone Storm. It's a channeling skill that builds up a bunch of projectiles that you release once you stop channeling. Very cool. I channel this really fast. Gets to max stages like almost instantly, which is good because all these can hit a target. And if you get a big boss, this thing just shreds it because you get more hits. Smaller bosses, not as good, but still good. I have it linked with multi-shot. That seems like it would be a downside, and it kind of is because it lowers the damage, but it causes my channeling to be way faster. You can see how much slower this channel time is without that going off. It's always fast with this because I'm getting two of those things constantly. So it's just ripping up to a high level. Very nice support. I have it linked with rapid casting. This is a really minor increase to how fast they build up, but it's better than nothing. I also have it linked with considered casting, which reduces the cast speed, but gives a nice damage bonus. This doesn't really... You can see how much faster it builds up, but it's not like you lose a ton with this. So for the big 35% damage, it's not bad. It's still even pretty fast without the rapid casting, but with it, it's just always fast. And then I have it linked with inevitable critical because I don't spam this. So I pretty much have this buff up constantly. And that's the skills. So like I said, Bone Blast on a cooldown, cast on critical for clearing with Bone Cage, and then some defensive auras, Vulnerability Curse, and Bone Storm per single target. Gear wise, I'm buffing all my physical spells, so I got plus to level of physical spells. Get a little damage as extra, that's not very good. But all my gear is super cheap, probably 20 exalts for the whole thing. This is just very cheap leveling gear. This was probably 1 exalt. The damage as extra is not very good. There's definitely better ways to scale your damage. I'd way rather have like increased physical spell damage or just more spell damage, etc. is the better way to scale it. My focus is similar, just has increased spell damage, level of skills, and a resistance, very cheap. Helm is life and resistance, little regen. Chest armor, I tried to get a big energy shield roll, so I got 500 and then 144 life, so it's a big life roll on this, and then just resistance as I needed a little regen. Same thing with this, level of spell skills, life, stats, and resistances. Life, movement speed, and resistances. Life and resistances. Life and resistances. If you can get the critical damage bonus roll on this, it's nice. 2 unique rings right now. They're not very good, and I probably won't keep them very long. This is just a crit ring, gives you more crit chance for spells and crit bonus, and does give you the chaos resistance. The increased mana cost is a pain, but it's not unmanageable. And the gifts from above just gives me a little crit chance, and then all my item rarity comes from this, so I get a little more rarity. And consecrated ground's not bad. You can see it's around me, so that's another reason my life regen is high. Not the worst, but like I said, super cheap. So that's that. Let's look at the skills. What I'm pretty much taking. Already talked about the life and the damage prevention, armor, energy shield is life from the chest armor, big boost to damage from my flask, and then spell leech. So I'm a pretty tanky character. Mainly scaling for my points is crit and physical damage. I got crit and physical damage all over the place. All this is crit. 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 Armor break. I break armor on crits equal to 15% of damage dealt. That's very big. You'll see why in a second. Also, the small notables give you... so I have 20% of armor broken on a crit, which is outstanding for a physical spell damage build. More crit, more physical damage. I convert a little bit of my mana cost to life, so that just keeps it a little cheaper. Get a little more life regen. Still working on crit here. More crit damage. So with my weapon swap, I am in weapon swap 1 right now for bossing. So I am getting Arcane Surge when I crit, which is... I get 10% chance to get it when I do a crit. It's up a lot just for a little mana regen. I have tons of chance for spell skills to fire additional projectiles. So there's 18 right there. more projectile speed and spell damage. There's that's would be 20, 30. It's like 50% chance to get 2 additional projectiles, and they don't actually shoot more projectiles with the Bone Storm, but that's all contributing to how fast this builds up to maximum, which is what I want. So I just want to get it full and release. Full and release. That's how you play this. Move around bosses, target them, release. You can really avoid a lot of damage with this just by clicking to a good spot and then popping that off. So, and like I said, I don't spam it. So what I'll typically do in a rotation is on a boss, I'll go crit, and then while that's wearing down, I'll hit my Bone Storm, a couple of cages, one more Bone Storm, if it's not already dead. Then I'll go back to one of these big shots, a couple cages, Bone Blast him again, and then another big one, and that'll finish them all off. It's just it's a way to keep my crits at its maximum and keep safe and keep moving. So very nice. So yeah, pretty much crit when I do the weapon swap to my clearing. Then I bring in this area skills, area damage, little knockback. I bring in all the meta stuff. I have lots of meta skills, gain more energy. This is proccing my detonate dead from my cast on critical more frequently. More meta. So yeah. So 2 builds, once. Oh, weapon sets. I don't change weapon sets. I have locked, you can see the lock right there. I have locked the same wand and focus in each one because they both do what I want. So this is very nice. You don't have to buy 2 weapon sets. You just have one for your AoE clear and one for your projectile single target. All of my main damage skills are physical. I get the Bone Blast from the wand. It's physical, so it gets a nice buff. I get the Bone Cage, my clear, it's physical, gets nice buffs. Bone Storm, physical single target, gets nice buffs. And then Detonate Dead is physical, gets nice buffs. So everything I'm doing is physical right now. All these spells have high crit chance because the physical based crit chance on all these skills is just high. So you can see Bone Cage's base is 15, Bone Storm's base is 15, Bone Blast base is only 14, so you lose a little bit with the free one you get from the wand. But it's good. So lots and lots of crits. Why am I breaking armor? I have 3 jewels, and they all get big damage bonuses from fully broken armor. So I get a little life regen, a little more armor broke, but I get 25% increased damage with hits. Well, not even with hits, but just increased damage against fully broken armor. So that's a big damage boost. 24 damage against hits with fully broken armor. A little more knockback, a little more leech because I am leeching. A little more regen, a little of my mana cost converted to life, which is good, and a big chunk more. So I'm getting like 75% increased damage to enemies with fully broken armor from just those 3 jewels. So it just really increases my hit damage. And these were super cheap, probably 1 exalt a piece. So this whole gear set is as cheap as it gets. I'm level 76, and I'm going to do a relatively easy level 8 waystone. It's what I've been doing right now, so I think the assembly's done. It is. Try to find one with a boss so you can see how it goes. Oh, perfect. I got a boss right there in the raised fields. You'll see how quick the clear is and how I'm really just limited by movement speed. I'm not super fast. Oh, I hate this layout. So that's my bone cage. It's just shredding. This is, like I said, a 20 exalt character. You see that orange explosion? That's my detonate dead proccing. that does get hard on your mana, so you have to pop your mana flask once in a while with this build. The little red circles you see me running by are my life remnants. Here's a whole bunch, and it overgrows my life. You can see it's overfilled. These do that. You can max out your life big time by overfilling them. It's pretty mindless. You have such good AoE, you just pop it. So here's a rare. I'll just hit him with the Bone Storm, and he just melts. A single target on the Bone Storm is just outstanding. Go get this one too. So yeah, this is level 72 area. I'm a little over leveled for it, but I'm just smoking this content. Abysses, of course, can be a little more dangerous because you get the bad mobs spawning around you and they might chain stun you. Abysses can really be a pain. They just run you in such circles when you're playing a build like this. I have no stun avoidance, so I don't want to get in this pile, and there you go. You see that you can die. If you get stunned, you're in trouble. So if you play smart and stay out of that kind of junk. I don't know what that one is yet. I don't have that one. You stay out of this pack of mess and don't get stunned. Oh, that guy's got a horrible aura. That was part of it. I really, in this game right now, I only die to abysses when I get going through like a wall trying to get to the targets I want to hit and get stuck and get stunned, and then I die. These regular mob packs, they don't seem to do anything to me. What I'm going to work on is getting a little more mana regen. You can see when I Bone Storm a guy, these rares just go down instantaneously. Oh, I got bosses over there. This map stinks with the burning corn because there's just burning junk all over the place. Keeps my energy shield gone pretty much, which is a pain. I don't have a ton, but I do have 1,000, so it is a layer of defense, but on a map like this it's never up. So it's basically like I just have 1,000 less life base. Get to see another fun part of Path of Exile too. So there's these little lag lockouts. I do love that it fixes itself, but it takes a little while. So I don't know if other people are getting these as much as I am, but this patch I've gotten a ton of them. I never used to get this, so it's definitely something new going on. Updated my video drivers, did everything I think I need to do to fix it, but they're still going on. So I don't think I'm in game yet, but now I am. So it brings you back, which is nice, but you get that little minute delay while it's sorting itself out. Kind of a giant pain in the butt, but it is what it is. So we get some bosses. Okay, these guys. You can see how fast he's going down. It was like a non-fight. You can see I got the fully broken armor and the vulnerability, so I think I'm getting both. But yeah, that's the damage you get from these skills with basically cheap as dirt gear. Um, you level so easily. I just love it. So, a couple of options to take this build further. I feel like moving out of bone magic skills is probably the way to go and move into elemental, probably lightning. So the lightning skills, let's just grab a gem and peek at one here. So the lightning skills, arc, I love. It's so cool. It has a base crit of 9, which kind of stinks. Spark, base of 9. Ball lightning, another cool skill, base of 9. So you can get a wand with spell slinger, which is really cool. This just builds up whatever you have linked in the spell slinger as you spend spells, as you cast spells. It'll build up to like 4 charges of something, so you can build like 4 charges of arc up, and then when you see it build up, you'll get a little icon for your spell slinger linked spell here. So say I have arc there, it'll be not castable, and then eventually it'll have 1 charge, 2 charge, 3 charge. 4 is the most I've seen, and you can just pop that, and when you pop it at 4, it arcs 4 times. Boom, 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 boom. So if you're going with the lightning build and you're scaling lightning, the spell slinger wands are really cool. Same with cold, same with fire. They don't seem very good for any bone skills, so I haven't been trying them yet. But yeah, when you switch, if you switch to elemental, you get all those spells. You can go fire, and go casting fireballs and flame walls, and firestorms are really cool. Lots of different stuff you can do there. Like I said, I'd probably go with lightning, and then to fix the fact that it doesn't have crit, you just rebuild your ascendancy. So I drop this point, and I would drop the leech, and I would come out here and get all my spells. Base crit is 15, so it gets the same base crit as your bone spells do, and then come out here like this and get 1% increase crit bonus per 50 life, so that's nice. You get 10 per 500, you get 20 per 1,000. So I probably can get myself up with more expensive gear into like 3,000-4,000 life. So another 100, not quite 100, but 80 crit bonus. Very nice. And do all crit. And then the way you scale it then is you get some divines together. Right now I think I have like 5. Oh, I only have 3. Get some divines together. Go shopping and buy yourself a Wrathpith Globe. Very cool. Focus. This is new to this league. So non-channeling spells cost an additional 6% of your maximum life. That's a nuisance, but we're already spending a ton of life on our skills because of our sanguimancy, so it's not that big of a deal. Non-channeling spells have 5% increased hit chance per 100 maximum life, so you're going to get massive increased crit chance with this. Non-channeling spells, and the reason I wouldn't switch to this unless I switched to elemental is because Bone Storm is a channeling skill, so it wouldn't work. Non-channeling skills deal 10% increased damage per 100 maximum life. So then all you do is you start scaling your life. You get it up to, like I said, 4,000 or 5,000. Your crit chance comes from it. Your spell damage comes from it. Obviously, more life is a defensive layer, so you're scaling defense and offense at the same time. These are relatively expensive. I think in divines, these are like 10. That's like 10 divines worth of stuff. So not a super cheap item, but a build defining item. So I can switch from this to elemental spells, completely redo the tree. So all the stuff that's physical damage I'd lose. Work my way up here into the lightning stuff. Very good. Some nice lightning penetration right here. So I don't have to move very far to convert into lightning. have 100% crit chance for basically all my lightning skills, have them be buffed in spell damage by my life, crit chance by my life, and just walk around spamming stuff like Spark, um, maybe cast on critical, Arc, maybe just Spell Slinger Arc, etc. Drop Orbs of Storms by the bosses, and just burn everything down with lightning skills. It's gonna be nice. Might not be awesome, but it's something I'm thinking about. So obviously I'd have to lose my jewels, wouldn't get that bonus anymore. So some give and take with the skills, but anyway, it's an option when you buy the Rapid Globe to do that. You could also buy Rapid Globe and keep Bone Cage as your only damage dealer. Start increasing your cast speed, and just spam Bone Cage on targets. Like, my cast speed stinks because right now I don't spam, but that would be pretty good DPS, especially if you had the Wrathpith on and you were really scaling your life up. So anyway, that's options with the build. It's just a basic Blood Mage. Bone skills now, probably lightning skills later. And I will do another guide if I end up getting the Wrathpith Globe and change everything around. But for now, this is going to carry me to 15s no problem without spending any currency at all. It's a very good, easy play style. And if you've liked its content and it's been at all helpful, please hit the subscribe button down below. And thanks for watching the channel.